here is your question. You possibly find some people starting from here and then gradually coming to this point. This is one doorway to the answer that you have got. Define that. And then by defining, I mean that you're giving an idea to the person that, hey, I understand what you have asked me. Hello, parent. Today we are taking up a major issue, and that issue is about answer writing. Often people come to me asking about answer writing, and I have spent plenty of time just dealing with the answer writing skills. In fact, we do talk to our students in the class about answer writing skills. On this platform, I would like to share with you some of those facets of answer writing. In fact, when you talk about answer writing, there are two things which must be kept in mind while you are preparing for answer writing. One component, of course, is the content. And majority of you, I would find that you are only bothered and concerned about content. What should I be writing, and what are the contents, what are the points? A lot of people come to me saying that, sir, I am not prepared, my content is not ready, how I can write answer? Understand. I mean, that's important that you have to have content to write answer. But then think of a situation when you have all the content and you have no skill to express them. In fact, it is very important, if not more than equal, as important, is that you have the skill of answering instead of just having the content part of it. And I work on the principle of the fact that if you are one who has cleared PT examination, you are past PT, you essentially got enough content to write an answer. So content is something which I'm not really worried too much. Now, in this series of answer writing skill, I'm going to give you some broad pointers for all those people who are thinking of writing civil service examination. They can have a head start. In this series of answer writing, I would like to today talk about introduction to the answer. Introduction is the place where you are actually critically engaging the reader. You're making a first impression, I would always say like that. And I'm sure you know that first impression is the last impression. But the problem with the first impression is that you don't get a second chance to make the first impression. You just get one chance to make the first impression. I do evaluate a lot of answers all the time. And when I evaluate answers, a lot of time when I'm reading introduction, I get some feeling deep down my mind that, hey, this person has understood me or not. So it is very important that you keep in mind that this is one doorway to the answer that you have got. A lot of time we write. Yes, we write, we don't answer. And then quite often if you have got a very, very remote start, I suppose that's not something which is what would give me a feeling that I'm being answered. I must essentially have the feeling that I'm being answered. I'm not reading, I'm being answered. I hope you understand the difference of the two phraseology that I'm using it here. Also, it has to be crisp and covering multiple parts of the question. A lot of people, they have a very remote start. I mean, I think I don't like that. Here is your question. You possibly find some people starting from here and then gradually coming to this point. Now, I mean, you have to understand the core, the main point of the question, and then actually starting from the core. That means you really give an idea to the examiner that, hey, I understand what you have asked me. And the moment I get that feeling that I have a person who understands me, my engagement, critical engagement goes very high. In fact, there can be many tools through which you can imagine that answers can be written. One can be, which is very common, a lot of people use it all the time, is definitional. We just talk about the topic on which that we are writing an answer, define that. And then by defining, I mean that you're giving an idea to the person that, hey, I understand what you have asked, the issue that you're talking about. That could be one of the ways. Another is contextual, in a sense like in what perspective that question has happened. That could be also a tool to break the ice, start the introduction. There could also be another tool which is where the purpose of the question, why this question is being asked to me, I am going to take up that aspect and then write it. This purpose could be different. This purpose could be a command of evaluation, a command of analysis, a command of describe or discuss. or narrate for that matter. So these basic terms, these basic phraseologies are the purpose for which the question has been given to you, and based on the purpose, you could possibly break the ice. Of course, you have to use the purpose and kind of cross it with the keyword of the question, and then where you have got your introduction happening. Introduction is very important, but then remember, you should not be too elaborate about it. If you're very remote to start, you become very elaborate. It should not be like crisp. It should not be something which does not give an idea that, hey, you've understood the question or not. Also, there could be another way is that explanatory, that is where you are talking about the issue per se on which you're going to be answering this. Also, some people take it at the root of factual, shall we say, statistical data. They are good engaging tool through which you can break the ice. I am requesting you, try different methods, try different approaches, be it definitional, statistical, explanatory, or purpose, any one of them, and whatever you find comfortable, you can possibly go ahead doing those as practice. In fact, there can be a lot of combinations also which can be used of these various tools of introduction, and then whatever you are comfortable with, you can go ahead. However, this has to be backed up with lots and lots of practice. And if you've done a lot of practice, you have your unique way of introducing an answer, and I think that will be a very fresh approach towards the answer writing, and you would definitely reap the benefit in your final examination. My best wishes.